Let's start straight away with some photos. I landed in Seoul in a wonderful neighborhood, still some way from the city center, where life flows at a spontaneous pace, unassuming and unhurried, bathed in the pale light of early spring, and where people stroll slowly, without any rush, each step sinking into an almost sacred silence. Quiet, still authentic neighborhood characterized by brick houses and adorned with the usual profusion of electric cables, which made me fall in love with this city straight away, even before I had really got to know it. Hey guys, finally I'm in Seoul, back to the future in a huge metropolis. Unstoppable, fast, technological, a context that's completely new, something that I've never met along my great journey. In Thailand, I recognize it as slow and spontaneous rhythm. In Vietnam, my vision learned to react, jumping between compression and dilation. And now I'm ready to face a new kind of rhythm, probably more planned and organized, designed for the human sides. Seoul is a big city, and I bet I'm going to face different beating souls. Tradition again against tourism, artistic quarters mixed with marketing and affairs, dancing and young night streets facing the quiet heart of nature finding space through the city. And my aim here is to dedicate a single post for each rhythm I'm going to meet, practicing what I learned on my previous steps, not just documenting a single quarter, but telling how do they move. And if you enjoyed this video guys, follow me for more content like this and see you in the next video. I spent my first few days with Jin and Han, two friends I met on the Camino de Santiago last summer. With them, I had the chance to experience the city's true rhythm firsthand, just like a true Seoulite, immersing myself in delicious Korean cuisine and embracing a healthy pace of life I never thought I would encounter. I didn't come to Seoul to learn something new. I now know how to recognize rhythms, I know how to react accordingly by putting myself to the test, and by now I've learned to feel the rhythm in my body, and so I'm now ready to pick up my project again. Here in Seoul, I had the luck to have some friends. I met Jin and Han last summer along the Camino de Santiago, and until that, South Korea was not in my plans for this great journey. And the same is going to happen with Taiwan for this August. With Jin and Han, I had the chance to live firsthand real Korean culture, ritual daily traditions that turn a lot around food and time shared with friends and family. Of course, Korea is famous for the BBQ, the fried chicken, the bibimbap and more, but I would have never said that coffee is such an important element for this culture. Seoul is extremely full of coffee shops, and people love to spend their time with friends, sharing a good coffee and having a relaxed chat all together. And of course, I couldn't miss the opportunity to get part of this tradition, and out of any expectation, now I'm addicted to the iced coffee. And if you enjoyed this video guys, follow me for more content like this, and see you in the next video. I really do like this city. I'm noticing that sharing a coffee is a common ritual, a moment of social relaxation, during which Koreans and others alike take time for themselves over a good cup of coffee, having a chat after every meal. Coffee shops on every street corner, perfect spots, lively settings, carefully designed scenes, within which the pace slows yet remains vibrant, bursting into moments of social intimacy. Looking beyond these cafes, however, silence descends, particularly in traditional villages such as Bukchon Hanok village, where large crowds move at a slow and polite pace. No clamor and voices are low, almost non-existent. It is full of tourists, but the rhythm here is one of respect, and even the few cats roaming the town can sleep soundly. And amidst all this crowd in the historic districts, just as in other cities I have encountered on my journey, a multitude of costumes emerge. Foreign visitors come here to literally immerse themselves in tradition, hiring it at low cost, donning it and posing in the picturesque streets and most famous buildings, dotted with tradition that is worn rather than lived. Seoul is not really as I expected, actually is even better. Of course, it's a metropolis that it moves 24 hours a day, built especially around business, but it breathes. I'm used to the busy city of Milan, but here there is an atmosphere that's completely different. There is a gentle rhythm, nature is everywhere, and the city is more open than I thought. Spaces are huge, large streets, giant squares, and you feel the big architecture just standing on the background without covering the sky. All around you see businessmen and businesswomen, but they're not as stressed as in Milan, where everyone looks angry and always in a hurry. It's a different world, less frenetic than I imagined, and I really think that I'm coming back one more time before returning to Italy. Everyone is so respectful, and the city evokes a real sense of politeness. And if you enjoyed this video, follow me for more content like this, and see you in the next video. A metropolis made up of 1,000 neighborhoods, each moving to its own rhythm, yet all united by one thing. This city breathes. A river that cuts the city in two becomes a meeting place for everyone, but above all for workers who, during their lunch break, treat themselves once again to a good coffee by the river bank. Streets seem to melt away, whilst the pace of work is punctuated by moments of relaxation, built around a lifestyle more structured than anything I've encountered so far, yet one that proves to work perfectly, a model for everyone to follow. And amongst the vast crowds moving through the city, one structure in particular explicitly embodies this sense of breathing space. Zaha Hadid's DDP, a massive building enveloped by vast voids shaped by the curvilinear profiles of its facades, where, as has happened before, the human presence in every shot can serve as a simple scale of reference, without stealing the limelight from the protagonist. A sensual yet elegant building, imposing yet at the same time light, quietly dynamic, perfectly reflecting the standards and lifestyle of Seoul. But Seoul isn't just about taking deep breaths, it's a beating heart in perfect balance, a seamless alternation between contraction and expansion, where even the hustle and bustle of city life unfolds amongst the towering skyscrapers. In the district of Icheon and Insadong and amongst various markets scattered throughout the city, long, narrow streets unfold, lined with signs for restaurants and souvenir shops, a sense of compactness that stretches out in length, creating a stark contrast to the prevailing nature of the great metropolis, along which it is always worth taking a stroll, surrounded by 1,000 lights and colors. Passing through South Korea, I've missed the amazing cherry blossom in Japan. But well, maybe you don't know that also Korea has it. I've been so lucky to come into Seoul right on this special moment when all the streets get colored of a bright and luminous pinky white. Everyone looks up to the sky, staring at the big white clouds over their heads. But it's not just all a matter of flowers. It's an important lesson for everyone's life, because you have just 1 week to enjoy it at your best, before it fades away until the next year. And impermanence is what makes it so special, and people are conscious about this. Their beauty exists because it's not never-ending. Beautiful moments never last forever. Which is why people stop their walk to notice them. And if you enjoyed this video, guys, follow me for more content like this, and see you in the next video. Everyone rushes to Japan to experience the sakura, but in Korea too, the cherry trees burst into bloom with their luminous canopies. A magical moment, though one destined to end in a shower of white petals. Just 1 week in the whole year, which reminded me once again how important it is to appreciate the little things, the simplest ones, slowing down to fully enjoy this brief moment in time. Who knows when or if I will ever have the chance to experience it again. Seoul has a real soul, with a living, beating heart. I felt at home, all too much so. Together with Han, I relived the spirit of the Camino de Santiago, climbing Beombawi mountain early in the morning, revisiting old conversations and starting new ones, strengthening our friendship in a way that we hadn't managed to deepen along the Camino. Having spent a few days with him and Jin, I must admit that I also regained the desire to return to a more defined, more settled routine. In Seoul, I've started to appreciate the ritual of morning coffee again, long walks in nature, and even climbing small mountains whenever I can. Perhaps it was also thanks to Jin and Han's presence, but Seoul is unexpectedly a city where I feel I belong. Who knows, perhaps it is exactly what I was looking for, because it has everything I need to make it my new place in the world. I have to admit that I didn't do my best here in Seoul. The breathing rhythm I discovered within the city was impressive, something that I really didn't expect to meet. But Seoul is a vibrant heart, built on an alternance of compression and dilation, contraction and decompressive rhythms, like a real human heart. The perfect balance to make it a perfect breathing organism. Anyway, I feel I could do much more. Seoul is so huge, with so many themes and quarters to explore, and a culture and tradition that it's worth it to comprehend even more. I fallen in love with everything, beyond any expectation. and I think that I'm going to miss this city in a bunch of days. This is why my wish is to have a second visit before coming back to Italy at the end of the great journey. I leased the cherry blossom, so why not waiting for the autumn foliage of ginkgos? And if you enjoyed this video guys, follow me for more content like this, and see you in the next video.